ganska sjukt det här. Jag fick ett sms för ett tag sedan om att jag skulle få komma på en riktig brottarlunch. En herrlunch, en brottarlunch. Riktig brottar. Jag vill säga brottar. Jag vet inte hur många gånger jag kommer att säga brottar, men det är väldigt mycket. Och bara hur sms är utformat så var det brottarlunch. Nu ska jag ner till en taxi och sen ska jag ta mig till just denna brottarlunch. Hej John! Ja, vem är det då som bjuder in? Jo, det är Niclas Tuomela, eller Nicke Vinsmart som han är känd som. Han slog igenom i Mästerkocken och nu har han också sin egen YouTube-kanal. Superduper! Tackar! Jag hittar
välkomna allihopa.
Tack. We do it in English. So we do it in English. So really welcome. These are special to me because, as I said, your father is actually one of my sort of mentors when I started in the wine business. And when I heard that Christopher was working with Monredon, when I heard that you were in town, and Christopher said, well, we actually have a smaller, but let's do a lunch then. So this is really by ad hoc, sort of. But it's going to be really fun to taste all of you. I've been following you on wines for 30 years now, and they're really, really fantastic wines. And then I always love to, when you take the opportunity, when you can cook something really special good. Well, we do it every day, but today I actually started this Saturday, so and I did my first pâté en croûte. So,
very good. Love that.
All in. And the rule with this wine was not to change one thing because it was already perfect before. So, and the Alari family, who was the family owners for over 10 generations, they were real pioneers in organic and biodynamic farming, and we kept that philosophy. And there were 2 whites and 3 reds, and we kept the cuvées the way they were doing. So the word was, I said to all.
Ja, men det är
Nice. Yeah, nice. First is very simple thing is the label. This is the 100th anniversary label. So for vintage 23, when we did the body, we had an artist, Gaël Serre, doing a painting, and we cut the painting in 2. And so on the white Chateauneuf du Pape 23, we have the upper part of the painting, and on the red Chateauneuf du Pape 23, we will have the clear or not. We age shorter or longer depending on the vintage. So it could be bottled in late March or it could be bottled in early July, following the harvest, to give some autolysis character to the wine. Couple barrels, so we made probably 400-ish bottles of that wine, and it's total different style. It's much more on creaminess. There is 80 to 90% of oil treatment, and it's all about still minerality, but in a more waxy and creamy style. So we will taste different red wines. We start with the Côte du Rhône. So it's fruit driven, like it's a red version of the white we had. It's basically 80% Grenache, 20-ish Syrah, a little bit more Syrah maybe. It's only tank and stainless steel, so it's just purity on the fruit. Early approach, easy drinking, and it's a bestseller, I would say, in System Bolaget, and thanks to Board Wines also. Yeah. And so the 22 vintage is
We purchase a lot of fruit, so we don't own all the land, but we do blend some of our estate grapes, and especially some Iraq grapes, because we keep the best grapes to do our Iraq blend, but we also declassify some of them into the Côte-du-Rhône. So the two wines, both the Côte-du-Rhône and the Iraq, benefit from that, because Iraq blend gets the best grapes for Iraq, and Côte-du-Rhône gets some Iraq grapes. And so it is more obvious in the 23 vintage, where there's a higher proportion of Iraq grapes, but 22 still had some.
Yeah, and also again here we are just in some weeks changing the vintage to 23, and as the white we're changing the label at the same time. And for us this is a wine that we love because it's so easy to understand. You don't need a super fancy something, it's just put a bottle on the table, eat a pizza, eat something good, a good meat. You can eat from here to here and you can still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's because the vineyard was in the hillside, and most of the vineyard is in the hillside, but there are a few vineyards in the valley floor. And in this very valley floor, 2,000 years ago, there was Roman camps because they were fighting, and so the lords were having their battle field there with their camps, and so that's why reserve of the Lord, the seigneur means reserve of the lords, back to in reference to Roman times. The best vineyard of this hillside, the best grapes of this hillside, but 2 blocks to do this cuvée. Very particular with this vineyard, so it's grown biodynamically. So the yields are tiny, not even low, they are tiny. So the grapes are super concentrated, but we kept the techniques of the former families, the Alary family, and they were not doing extraction from the skins. We were more speaking of infusion. So we do gentle pump overs in the beginning, and very gentle, and when we achieve about half to 2/3 of the fermentation, we rack the juice out. We put some staves with sticks under the ceiling and then put the juice back on. And then when we do pump overs, we don't remove the cap anymore. It's it stays submerged. And so it's only like just renewing the top juice from the bottom, and that's it. So there's no extraction. And so I think I joke by saying we are making tea with skin grapes. So you will see the...
Har jag worked in bolaget?
In the shop or? Yeah.
Because I work in a shop where it's out, not in Stockholm, but out in Portobello goes, Berga, where Nicke is from as well. So it's much older crowd, or older group shopping. So they have a little bit more refined taste, I would say. But this is super nice.
Oh.
Stuffed with whatever you think is good. Dijon mustard. We have a little bit of vegetables on the top. 1 horseradish. And some cress obviously also. So and Perignon truffle. And I really like to have it. I think it disappears a little bit if you put it inside the tin, if you don't have the white truffle. But unfortunately it's not season for that now. So then it's better, I think, to put it on top. Oh.
Don't say dark.
Cognac and Moridon.
Oh.
Because we do a nice, really nice grappa, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, I couldn't do only with that because I've drank it too much of the bottle. So I need to do some cognac also. Then pepper sauce, just new potatoes, just a green salad.
Awesome.
Keep the vegetable part.
No.
On 100 hectares, 3 different terroirs, pebbles, sandy slopes and chalk. And so we take the best of the 3 terroirs each year to build the best blend, and the rest goes to the black market. So there is a very high and strict selection. So what we deliver to the black market is good, but definitely not into the standard we want to achieve with the blend. So it's always the cream in the cream that we put into our bottle. So 21 vintage was considered a cooler vintage. So, but still is since we do this strict selection, it's quite dense and deep in color. And on the left-hand glass we have Le Plateau de Montredon. So I told you the main blend was pebbles, sand and chalk. Le Plateau is only the pebbles on the highest elevated part. We select a few blocks, we vinify the same with the same extraction, we age separately in little barrels, casks, tanks, in like all pieces apart. And then a little after the so we age about 12 months for the Chateauneuf blend, and for Le Plateau we age a little longer, all pieces apart. Then we do the blend, and we do a secondary aging in stainless steel. So it could be 18 months primary aging, then we do the blend, and another 12, 15, 18 months in stainless steel tank. So we do kind of a Grand Reservoir style of aging, but not in an oxidative way, in a reductive way. So it tightens up the wine, it screws it down a little bit, and it brings reduction to it. And so you will
to explain reduction.
Well, this is the opposite of oxidation. So
and do you know the oxidation?
We're getting older.
Yeah, oxidation is what's giving the tones of leather or mature apples and flavors like that. And reduction is the opposite too.
Exactly, to really trap that fruit character. So if you think of a Grand Reservoir in Rioja, for example, then they do a secondary aging in natural casks because they want to emphasize the oxidative style, and we do want to do exactly the opposite to really make when we bottle the wine, it has to taste much younger than its vintage.
And this is 2017.
17 was a warm vintage, a great vintage with a very, very big coulure. Coulure is flower abortion, so tiny yields. And so when we were carrying the grapes back to the winery, we were more carrying stems than berries sometimes. It was like tiny berries, little berries. So that the process of selection makes a concentrated wine, but even more in this vintage. The grapes were, there was very little juice in it, so it's super concentrated. That's why we age so long, to just soften all the tannins and because everything integrates well together.
Yeah, and so it's almost 7 years. Yeah, it's 7 years plus, almost 8 years old. So your left glass, you can think about it as you said, the reductive. If you take an Gran Reserva from Rioja, it will be quite.
Ja, verkligen.
Ni har det, va?
Ska vi vidare med någon?
Vad skulle ni vilja ha det? Exakt.
Ja.
Där har du.
About the mustache, you're gonna have it, that's why you have the napkin. You are drinking a mango, passion, vanilla and lemon drink. So kind of like a solero if you ever try the ice cream. The whipped cream on top is with vanilla, so just as it is like this is amazing actually.
Oh, yeah.
Dried mango with some sugar as well. You can either dip it, you can eat it, you can do exactly as you want. But make sure that you get both of the liquid and the whipped cream at the same time. The first sip will be harder than the second. Enjoy!
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hej. Ja, vilken jävla kväll. På väg hem. En liten doggybag också. Wow, det kallar vi lunch. Klockan är... Ja, det är lunch.